15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody? It's a new month. It's a new episode. Welcome back. It's actually kind of crazy to think we're already almost a week into April, but Ryan, come on in here. Tay should be in here any minute. Got quite a bit to talk about. I feel like each week we kind of have more and more to slowly kind of creep in to talk about. Like first, it feels like we don't, and then all of a sudden you just do a tiny bit of digging, and there's actually a lot going on in the gaming world.
That's pretty much how it works, right?
Right.
Like, oh, there's not much going on, and then you're like, oh, wait, yes, there is. We got this, and this.
Right. It's like, or it might even be like something that I don't even know that's really going on, and then you or Tay bring it up and be like, oh, okay. Just kind of creeps in. But so what have you been playing? I know before the show you said you're downloading Lego Star Wars.
I am. It's downloading right now, actually.
Very nice.
I played a bunch of WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I have gotten through almost a full year of the universe mode, which is amazing to me. It's a lot of time. Like, Fortnite, NHL, which I've got a series that's been going out on YouTube like every Tuesday. They're about half-hour long videos of me playing NHL, like trying to get. Basically, I did a Cyclones expansion into the NHL.
Okay.
So I've been doing some of that. That's kind of a weird thing because I'm trying something different, something I'm not really used to. I basically am recording, like sitting for like a 2-hour session and recording it, and then splitting it up into episodes.
I've done that in the past, but like Let's Plays essentially.
Yeah. So just something different. I'm not used to doing that, so I thought I would give it a try. It's actually getting a decent amount of traction, which was surprising. I think that's a very niche title. Like either you like hockey or you don't.
Right.
So it's interesting to see when I get a bunch of people that pop in. Yesterday's kind of didn't really get any, but I didn't really go out there and promote it as much as I had been previous ones.
Right.
Because I wanted to see, I was trying to see how many of them get like natural views versus like, hey, I put another video out there.
Right. Let's Plays are interesting content because it's like, even speaking from my own personal as like a viewer, like it's kind of like sometimes you feel like you have to either start from the beginning or you feel like you've been missing out on something. So it's always kind of like hard in that sense. It's like, okay, like, if I'm going to start
a little different, I think.
Right.
For
sure.
Kind of hop in. But it's definitely different than what I'm used to doing. And there's no interaction, right? You're just kind of talking to yourself, which can be a little weird. But at the same time, it's been interesting because it's something different. I was just trying to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, and single player games are really hard in that sense too, because like there's you'll be focused on the game. I find myself focused on the game sometimes, and then you realize, oh wait, I gotta like talk to people here, like kind of like talk about what I'm doing, what's going on in the game, stuff like that. So Let's Plays are definitely a different ballpark for sure, but they can definitely be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought about it like because Tay had been talking about it previously, like just different kinds of content and how do you get it out there and what are you doing and how do you get people to watch it. So that's what made me think of trying something different. So it's been interesting. Yesterday's flopped, but I didn't promote at all.
Yeah, see, I even created like a separate channel because I used to just post them on my one channel, but then I felt like I was kind of drowning out the rest of my videos. For instance, like
Right.
somebody might not check out my other videos because all they see is just a bunch of Let's Plays. So I created ones just called Swing Plays. I haven't really uploaded it a whole lot to it, but
Yeah.
I have a lot of like backed up recorded stuff, but I just never uploaded it. So you've been playing WWE and stuff like that. Is that pretty much the gist of it, or?
Yeah, I mean, so I contemplated like jumping into a couple other games this week.
Mm-hmm.
I have a love for MLB The Show. It's on Game Pass again, which is awesome. But it's download. I'm trying to see how big, 68 gigs for the
Dang,
download.
for the show. It's crazy. That's crazy. It's like I really wouldn't think it'd be a big game. I mean, the Lego Star Wars one was like 30 something.
Yeah, so I watched my 16-year-old play the show for a little bit. He was playing it in his room, and I ducked in there and was just watching. In the My Show mode, like where you create your own player to go and play and get drafted and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they've added the MLB The Show podcast. So there's like a video podcast that talks about what your player's been doing and all this. Like there's a ton of extra content in that mode.
That's cool.
Which I'm guessing is where all that video or all that 68 gigs comes from.
That's crazy.
So I'm interested in seeing how that goes. I did play the new Kirby for about, I want to say 20 minutes.
I didn't even know there was a new Kirby. That one missed me.
It's really interesting. I don't want to say it's bad, but I'm just not a huge fan of the Kirby games, obviously. Most Nintendo games always catch my attention, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this one just, I guess it's because I never caught on to the original Kirby game, so there's not much to it for me. But I can see why people enjoy Kirby, but it's just not for me.
Fair enough.
I get it. I get the appeal to it. It just doesn't do it for me. And everybody has a game that's like that. Like, oh, everybody loves this, and I'm just not having it. But the other game, and I didn't have it on my list. I played. I'm trying to find it. I have it on Switch, but it was available for games with gold. I want to say it's like Power Street Soccer or something.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's in one of the Switches, and the kids were playing it. But it's available for free for games with gold. I played that for a bit. It's okay. I mean, it's a free game on
It reminds
Xbox,
me of you ever play those backyard sports games, like
yeah,
backyard soccer and stuff.
Yeah.
Hearing about that one reminds me of that.
Yeah, I love the backyard soccer game back in the day, and backyard baseball. Pablo Sanchez was that little speedy guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was my favorite character to play as in that game. So I'll never forget those games. But they did an MLS soccer one at one point, and I loved it.
Yeah, those were always good ones.
Street Power is what it's called.
Street Power.
Yeah, Street Power Soccer. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. The kids were obviously playing it on one of the Switches too, because it's in the Switch, but free for games with gold right now. Worth checking out. Definitely a different take. Like, it's not FIFA, right? So
right.
If you're looking for like a more arcadey soccer game, it's worth the time to download real fast, given that it's free.
Right. I mean, any game that's free, it's like you gotta at least like download, right, or at least put it on your account so that way you can play it another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this Core Keeper game is probably my indie game of the year for sure. The game is actually so much bigger than I originally thought. Me and my buddy were playing Sunday on stream, and there's like these bosses, and you're like, each boss drops like a crystal, and you go put it in a rune. Anyway, so him and we had like one boss left, and we thought we wouldn't be able to kill it, but we kind of cheesed the fight. You know what I mean? In ways, we used really good strategy. It made it really, really easy. We didn't even get hit, but Anyway, so before we did that, we dug all the way out, and we're like, let's see how big this map really is. And so we're just like, let's just dig straight and see what happens. So we dig straight, and all of a sudden we come to like an unbreakable wall, and we're like, huh, like okay, the map is pretty big, but not as big as we thought. Because when you open up the map, you can like scroll out and scroll out and scroll out. So we thought, all right, the map's probably almost infinite, but so we hit this wall. We end up beating the boss, throw the rune in. Also, we like click the rune and like a voice. The first voice in the game comes up and it's like, blah 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 blah. And he goes, "The wall has now been lifted." And that wall, that unbreakable wall, lifts, and the whole game is like now twice as long because now it's telling us that we gotta go beat these titans that we have to go find. And it's like, okay, so we just beat these bosses. Now we gotta go find these titans. So this game is only in early access, and it is absolutely massive as far as like time played. It reminds me a lot of Valheim in that sense, where you can really just put some hours in it. You know, it's got mine carts and all that jazz. So it's a lot of fun. Definitely probably my indie game of the year. I know last year I was calling my game of the year really early, but it's not my game of the year. It's my indie game of the year. So, and it was my last call was accurate. So I'm going for 2 for 2. I don't even know. Is there like technically a indie game of the year?
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of indie game awards, so I'm sure it'll.
This one's definitely gonna pick some up, man. I'm telling you, definitely worth checking out for those who have not played it. It's only like $12 on Steam too, so it's super cheap, and you can play with your friend. You play with up to 8 friends, and you guys will be busy for a while. I mean, it's got skill trees, mining, all kinds of stuff like bosses. The game is actually hard. It's not like, like it's like Terraria in the sense where it's actually difficult to play. It's not just like super easy, like, oh, you just run out and smack a guy. Like, no, you will get 2 hit by just like these tiny little worms.
So is that available? I'm actually looking it up right now on the Xbox store to see if it's on there at all.
I don't know if it's on console. I do know it's on Steam. So for all those console people out there, it should be. So if it's not currently,
nothing there yet.
They probably have plans to go console. There's no reason the game couldn't make it to console because I mean it's just pixel art. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I've been playing that. About 45 minutes into Lego Star Wars. Me and my buddy are remote playing that. I wish it worked a little differently. I wish it was on one screen. They split screen it.
If you get too far apart, do they split screen it, or is it like
no? It's always split screen. It's always split screen.
Interesting.
I'd rather just have to stay close together. Like I'd rather have it that way. But I mean, it's pretty zoomed in, and so it's like we went through the settings. You couldn't really change the FOV, so split screen's a little scuffed, but still enjoying it. Been back into Escape from Tarkov. Actually been having some really good raids, so we're still kicking teeth in on that game. That's pretty much it. A little bit of VR poker here and there. I kind of want to get back into Onward, that VR like Call of Duty game. There's also a bar fight simulator game that just looks like silly and like good fun. So kind of might pick that up at some point, but who knows?
Okay.
So yeah, that's the gist of it.
All right. So Tay is here. Tay, what are you playing?
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, man, slow motion. Been playing a lot of 2K because I gotta get my basketball game up. I played some hockey. I've been taking a little strike from Madden, and
why a strike?
Because you play a game for so long, it's like, okay, I can be better at it, but I'm not getting better right now. So let me take a break and see if I can come back and get a little fire under my behind. But yeah, hopefully I'll get back into Madden. I've been playing Age of Empires, trying to build up my city and my army. And been playing Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Have you beaten it yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'm just curious.
So you're just chewing through that one, huh?
Yeah, that and Spider-Man, because I haven't got that far in Spider-Man either.
I restarted the previous Spider-Man, not the Miles Morales one, but the other one, and just started swinging around on the webs, and I was like, oh no, I'm never going to beat this game. This is another Batman for me.
Yeah, it's gonna
Like, it's going to take me 4 years to to finish it.
Yeah, so that's why I've been at. And then I've been playing on my phone. The app is called it is called, as soon as I can figure it out, Play-Doh. So I've been playing Play-Doh. It got like the pool, basketball, soccer, and different stuff you can play with people on your phone with. So yeah, that's been my game experience for the past week.
All right. Cool. So, Mark, let's talk about your first 45 with Star Wars.
Okay.
Let's try to dive into it without. I mean, can you spoil a Star Wars game?
No, not
this far into the series being released. That's not a possibility, right?
It's not even really spoil. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess you could spoil like a really cool level or something like that, but there's nothing like crazy that I've done. It definitely is a game that I'm gonna like kind of achievement hunt on because it's like it's one of those easy games, so it's like you pretty much have to. Like I want to go and get all the collectibles and do all that. So looking to achieve that, and then let's see. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about besides like the split screen. The gameplay is fun. It's all right. I don't know if I want to play on controller or mouse and keyboard. And using remote play, I might have to be on mouse and keyboard just because it kind of gets weird with the controller inputs. But I'm going to test that out after the podcast. So,
can you talk about the voice acting / closed captioning? Like,
I like it.
So a
It
lot of the
sounds
Star
good.
Wars, or a lot of the Lego games, they haven't always voiced the characters, or aren't there more voices in this one?
Yeah, so so far it's been like a voice for everybody. And apparently from what my buddy or one of my friends told me, and I haven't checked myself, but apparently the mumble setting is in the game. So if you want to choose the mumble setting, you can. But I don't know why you'd want to do that. But the only thing that bothers me about like the story is I keep running into this thing where you play for like maybe 7.5 minutes, and you're like running up to the next checkpoint, and it's like hold A to continue story, hold A to continue story, hold A. It's like okay, it just feels like a little choppy. But like it's just kind of that's my only complaint with that. Now I get that they do that so that way it's like, oh, if you want to continue exploring, but if you beat a level, you unlock free play. So like what we're doing, I think we're just gonna beat like a whole episode, come back and do the free play later. You know what I mean? Rather than
Right.
trying to find everything right then and there. But yeah, the camera. There's just a couple things that bother me. I liked how in the old games like you had like a bigger FOV. Everything just seems like so up close, and have to like turn a lot more and stuff like that. I just remember the old games just felt like it flowed a lot better. I'm really enjoying it though. I don't want to sit here and like talk bad about it, but I mean I'm looking forward to continue playing more tonight. I just wish that the split screen and even it could be better with just single player, but from what I watched on Twitch, people playing in single player yesterday, it still just felt like everything was up real close. I almost felt like I had to like move my chair back.
Wonder if you can change the camera angles.
See, there were camera settings and stuff, but it was all like camera bounce or like I call it blob or something weird. The camera shake and stuff like that. But I couldn't find. There was no FOV sliders. There was no like different settings. So I don't know.
Interesting. Okay.
It's just about they chose.
Yeah, I mean, anytime they're redoing a Lego game like a series, you think they've got to throw in some new kinks into the into how they're doing it? Because I mean, what can you really change from a Lego game perspective? There's been so many of them. Honestly, the gameplay in all of them has been pretty solid. So where do you improve to make this one better than the others?
I think they went more for like a. I mean, I haven't played a recent Lego game, but I feel like they're going more for like a really single player, like RPG kind of feel, which is totally cool. But like
But you're a multiplayer guy.
there's not. No, I still enjoy like a single player game, and like honestly, like what they did, and I was talking about this at work. They could easily make like a super cool like if they turned this into a multiplayer game, it'd be better than Battlefront, hands down. Like I like it would make a really good game like that because it is.
I'm amazed that there
isn't over the shoulder.
I'm amazed that Lego hasn't figured out a way to make a battle royale with all the licenses that they have. Could you imagine?
It would for sure pop off. But I mean, they would probably have to renew a lot of licenses to actually use them in a game,
maybe
for a game like that. But yeah, who knows? But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I like the over the shoulder look, but like in the single player, it just feels weird. Like there's a lot of stuff you can break, and I feel like I'm just constantly like rotating my camera around, and I don't know. Maybe I just got to use controls. I'm also on mouse and keyboard, so I'm about to try controller and see if I like it a lot better. I think I will. Yeah. I feel like it's definitely a controller game. I just didn't have it plugged in at the time. I didn't feel like plugging it in. I was like, well, we'll try mouse and keyboard. And I like it for the aiming, for like the characters that you can aim with, like like Chewbacca. He's got like his blaster or whatever. That's definitely good. But the combat, I'm still kind of struggling with as far as the Jedis go. There's like combos and stuff, and I can't really get it down.
I had that issue with WWE. There's some weird combos.
Yeah.
And like the grappling system is different. So like ways that you used to be able to just get into the grapple and do certain things you can't do. And I noticed that I paused it the other day and there's a combo menu. And I was like, oh, this does combat. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is kind of playing more like a regular fighting game. And then I'm like, there's other games that are like that, like Batman and Spider-Man. Guardians kind of has some of that where if you hit certain combos, and then Marvel's Avengers obviously has that as well. So it's interesting that they kind of mix that up.
Yeah. And it's like, it really doesn't help if, like me, if you took years off from playing it, because I played the wrestling for the first time, actually the other day. My homeboy had it. And yeah, it's kind of hard, but I still might purchase it because the graphics is very nice. I like the graphics on it. And
I think it's like I said, I think it's good. I think there's a lot of really good stuff in that game. They just I was talking a little bit about the beginning, but there were some download issues that I had. Like before we started the show, I was talking to Mark. I couldn't get any of the DLC to download. And I had to like force it to download to my Xbox from my PC was ultimately how I had to do it. Like the NWO content wasn't working. And that was one of the main reasons that I got that edition of the game is because I wanted those, like for my creative character, I wanted to be able to put them in the NWO gear and stuff.
New World Order.
Yeah. So I definitely think, Tay, if you wind up picking it up, you won't be too terribly disappointed. It's just one thing I would say for most people, if you're not a huge WWE fan, like just wait till it's on sale. It's gonna hit $40 at some point here relatively soon.
Well, I know one thing I've been noticing lately that Walmart does a lot of sales that no other stores does.
Well, yeah, because they're just trying to get you in. We've talked about this on previous shows, right? They're trying to get you in to buy that and then hope that you stay and buy another $100 worth of crap.
That is true. That is true. Because when I was in there, the guy was I put it in the chat. The guy was talking about the Gears of War, the new one, how it looks on a new play engine, and he showed me the video. I've never been a Gears of War fan, but I might cop this one because it looks real realistic.
Yeah, so you put
one of my favorite series. So, I mean, I've I saw it right away. So, did you guys watch the Unreal Engine 5 demo yesterday
For what
at all?
game?
No, Gears of War.
Well, yeah. So Unreal had a press conference where they unveiled Epic unveiled Unreal Engine 5.
Right, with Fortnite, right?
Well, with Fortnite, Gears, a whole bunch of stuff. And they showed how to use it, how to build it, like how to build stuff in it. You can go download it now. If you're just a regular fan, you can just go download Unreal 5 and start building in it. It's pretty impressive. I mean, the Gears of War stuff looks really, really good. But there was some other stuff out that they had shown on that press conference that was pretty phenomenal. It was in the middle of the day yesterday. I was kind of watching it off and on while I was at work, like listening to what they were saying. And then when you'd hear somebody talk about like the cinematic test, like I was always diving, like looking over to see. Because I think while Fortnite looks good, like it doesn't look quite like this other stuff that's out there. So I just put in the chat a link to the YouTube video from the Coalition. It's essentially the cinematic demo test on Unreal Engine 5 for Gears. It's phenomenal.
I think
like Tay's not wrong.
Watched.
Like it just looks so good.
Yeah, this is what I just watched. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll look great on the PS5 when they finally put that out there. Like when they, I eventually think that Gears of War makes a crossover onto the PlayStation. I know that's a crazy thing to assume.
I mean, Halo did, so
yeah,
it is.
Yeah. I think Gears is probably the next one that makes its way over as well.
Yesterday, I forgot to mention this. This kind of goes into what I've been playing. I finally fixed my streaming computer, the one that crashes when I'm on this podcast.
Hey, we're not getting the blue screen of death anymore?
Nope. So I just got a new SSD and put a fresh install of Windows. The only thing this computer has on it right now is like literally just Streamlabs, Discord, Elgato, and like the software for my Go XLR.
All right, so you just have everything you needed for tonight.
Well, everything. This is all I should need ever for this computer.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I think it already has it on there. My eye tracking software, if I ever want to do that on stream. But besides that, I think we're set. So fingers crossed, hasn't crashed in the last couple of nights. I don't know, but that's also the good news.
Woo.
Well, other good news. Since we're waiting on Grand Theft Auto 6, they leaked the picture, a so-called picture from Grand Theft Auto 6, and also the rumor is that Eminem will be part of Grand Theft Auto 6. But while we're waiting on that, for the next 2 years, they're redoing Max Payne 1 and 2.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I thought it was a good series. And I thought the Max Payne series was good, but I don't know that it's good enough to warrant a remake. Well, it's not a remaster, right? They're remaking the series.
Yeah. I figured it was coming when they redid Hitman.
I mean,
I think Rockstar needs to chill on remakes. I think everybody does in general. Like, unless the game is like 10 plus years old, you shouldn't remake it.
Well, that one is, right?
Yeah.
XP2, is it 10 years old?
I think we're way past like the 10-year mark.
Yeah, we're past that.
All right, 20 years.
Because I was like, I can't remember the release
15,
date.
20. I don't
know. Max Payne 2. Oh my God.
How old?
It's almost 20, Mark. It's 19 years ago.
I must be thinking of the third one, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. They can remake it. Fine.
Well, like the original Max Payne was released in 2001. 2 was released in 2003, and then 3 didn't release until 2012.
Because ain't 3 the love story?
I can't believe 3 released 10 years ago. What? Like, time has just, like, completely flown by. Like, I can't believe that game's 10 years old. I remember playing 3. 3 had some multiplayer elements to it, which was interesting. Let's see. 9 years after the events of the second game, Max Payne retired from the NYPD and spends his days nursing his alcoholism and addiction to painkillers.
Facts.
Finds himself working for a real estate mogul. Yeah, I don't remember if that one that was the one after his spoiler alert. His family was killed, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the second.
Yeah.
Well, take that off my list of games to play.
Then, like the third one, I think that's the lowest story.
Yeah, like you're gonna go back that far.
I might.
Yeah, I mean, well, with this remake, I mean, at least you have something new to look at. But I don't know how they'll change they'll have to change the story because it was just such a story-driven based game. Like,
it reminded me of John Wick, kind of.
yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, that's an interesting one to think. Like, I can't believe it's that old, but yeah, I don't know that I needed that one remade.
Well,
I mean, if they do it in like the Unreal Engine and make it look lifelike, maybe I'll spend some time on it. But like, grand scheme, that's not one that just says, "Oh, please remake." Like, I'm not like, "Oh, please remake that game." I need to play that game again, and I want it to look like it should look today.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm such a negative Nancy when it comes to remasters and remakes, though.
Well, speaking of remakes, they are rebooting Tomb Raider
Again?
for the new.
How many reboots does Lara Croft get?
I think this is the 3rd for the new generation consoles.
Why can't they just continue the stories?
Hold on,
Give me a new, like, do what Uncharted did. Give me a new character in the same universe, or
so it's
something like that.
The new Lara Croft adventure from Crystal Dynamics.
So, if it's from Crystal Dynamics, are they really rebooting, or are they just going to continue on the one that Crystal Dynamics did previously? I mean, because Crystal Dynamics, it wouldn't make sense for Crystal Dynamics to be like, "Hey, we're going to reboot the whole series that we've already invested all this time into."
They said we went set in the same universe on a new timeline entirely.
Okay. So, not a remake.
So they're probably just switching the story up.
They dig in. It says we dig into what we did and did not like about the reboot trilogy. What we hope is a new game would carry forward.
What a weird way of going about that.
Yeah. Interesting. So, all these new games and all these remakes that are coming around, and it doesn't look like we're ever going to see an E3 ever again. Like,
down to the game.
Yeah, I predicted that. I've been saying that.
It's dead, right?
I've been calling it. Not even surprised, not even a little bit.
I mean, I can't imagine that it reemerges after this one. Like, what could they possibly do to reinvent it to bring people back to it?
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I mean, not even electronic either, which is crazy.
Yeah, I just don't see how they make that come back. I don't know how you've essentially killed it in my mind at this point. Like, how do you rejuvenate that in the future with the way that you currently have it. So it's interesting because there are all these announcements, and then right after it's like, oh, here's no E3.
Yeah,
So wait, what?
I mean, I've been saying for a while though that just like financially, like it doesn't make any sense for these larger companies to go, because it's just like why would you?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can advertise without having to be in the space anymore.
Yeah, that's
like there's so much you can do digitally that you don't have to bring your staff of 100.
One tweet can do more than E3.
Yeah, well, and that's so. I mean, we had Brian on last week, and essentially one of his jobs being, with Sony, was to go to those events, right? Like, and do that stuff, and they've eliminated that entire division. So, I mean, it looks as though Sony is definitely like not planning on doing anything like that here in the future, or in the near future, I guess. But I mean, how many physical games? Tay, you're an outlier, so don't answer this question.
All right,
because we'll come back to you. But Mark, how many physical games have you bought in the last 5 years?
5 years?
Yeah.
It's kind of cheating. I mean, if you said in the last 3, it'd be 0. But if you said the last 5, so they'd be just Switch games.
Yeah.
But and the only reason I bought Switch games is because like just this console kind of requires it in a sense to save the storage. Now, if the Switch had better storage, then I would have never bought it. But I guess in hindsight, I should have bought just like a memory card.
Okay.
And done it that route.
Eliminate the Switch altogether.
I mean, I don't.
How many?
I didn't buy any console games. I'm trying to think. 5 years. I might have bought a COD, but that would be it.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I've never bought a hard copy for PC, but I've been strictly PC probably for the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
For the majority of it, especially not COD's better on PC. So,
other than Switch, I can say I have bought in the last 5 years. I've bought 3 games total on disc, and they weren't bought new. Well, okay, one was bought new, but it was bought at like $20 on Black Friday. But like my PS5 is digital, like it's all digital. So I'm never going to buy a physical game on PS5. Switch, I had the same thing with Mark because you just don't have enough space. Even with a big memory card, Mark, I have a 1 terabyte in my one Switch, and it's still like if I'm downloading all that stuff, it's a pain. And I do download quite a bit on Switch still. But because we have 3 Switches, I buy like 1 or 2 copies of certain games that I know we're going to play together. And then you can move them back and forth with the cartridge. But you can't do that if it's digital. But I bought Madden this year on PS4 used for what, like $2 or whatever it was, so I could beat Tay.
Slugs.
And then I got FIFA last year on Black Friday. And I want to say probably FIFA the year before on Black Friday. But everything else that I've bought physically, it's been on Switch. But every other game I bought is digital. Tay, I know you buy a lot of physical games, but I would say the majority of people fall somewhere between where we are and where you are on that.
Yeah, in the last...
Or like more closer to where Mark and I are, I would guess.
You said the last 5 years?
Yeah.
I've probably bought close to 80 games.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What's your digital library total though?
2.
Because I bet you Mark's digital library on Steam is over 200.
I have
over 300.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say 300 initially, and then I was like, that might be too many.
Yeah, I got 3 digital games, period.
Right. Right. Yeah. So like I'm pulling up my Steam account now and I'm gonna look at my library. My Steam library is 728.
Ooh.
That's also
What you got?
insane.
What you got? Like a 5 terabyte?
I don't have everything downloaded, but
Okay.
like my library itself, like total number of games is just really, and I know it's crazy, but a lot of those were part of Humble Bundles, Humble Choice, and then being a store manager, obviously at some point had its benefits.
Right.
My Xbox library digitally, I want to say, is almost 380, like somewhere in that neighborhood. Let me go back and look. Full library, 380 games owned for Xbox. That's digitally. And then I probably have 40 or 50 360 games still physical. Because that was before I really started buying digital. Like pretty much exclusively. And my PlayStation library I know is over 200. I don't know what the exact number is, but I know it's over 200. But again, I got a lot of free codes over the course of time. My biggest question with it all is like with physical media, like just finding its way kind of out of the marketplace. How long is it before just about everything is digital?
Within the next
pretty
5
much
years.
there.
Yeah, I mean, we got to be pretty close, right?
Yeah.
And there's pluses and minuses to that because one thing I've discovered over the course of time that I don't like with the digital is like if they take it off the marketplace, it's hard to track down your copy. My Vita, like one memory card went bad, and then it was like, oh, what happens if I can't re-download it, right? Like what happens? With the Vita being shut down, like the store being shut down, right? So I always worry about that. Like there's that fear of, they shut the store down. Now what can I do? But I think all of it coincides with E3 no longer being a thing. Like,
so question. With E3 not being a thing and they're bringing back South by Southwest, do you think that'll be the next big game conference?
I don't know that anybody needs one. What do you think, Mark? I just don't see these game companies like. I think small developers probably need it.
That's for sure. They don't need one, but there's a lot of things you don't need. But at the same time, though, I think they'll come back. I think they just need to see for a while, because in a way, you have two things happening right now. Game companies thinking they don't need these conventions, which is kind of true, as far as exposure goes. But on the flip side, devil's advocate, you have people losing faith in these companies in a way. I mean, a lot of that is because of COVID. I mean, I'm talking to somebody who's played Tina's Wonderland. They were really disappointed in the amount of content in that game. I believe they even made a statement saying that it was lacking because it was in development throughout COVID. But I mean, there's games like that. I mean, there's plenty of games that are just lacking right now.
It's still got a decent Metacritic, though, right? Like,
I mean, reviews are going to be there. I mean, I don't trust reviews at all, really, anymore.
Well, and that's why I look at the Metacritic, because you get extremes, right?
Let's go to the people. Let's go to some democratic here. Let's go to the Steam reviews, right? Because it's real people. 19 is Wonderland. Oh, it's not even on Steam. Oh shoot.
Yeah, it's probably it's an Epic only, right?
For now, apparently.
Yeah.
Tiny Tina's. I'm gonna see if I can. Anyway, so let's just say, I mean, like in my opinion, I think a lot of people are losing faith. Like Call of Duty, people are just like, you know what I mean? Like people are just losing faith in a lot of these bigger companies, and it's like, okay, you look at Cyberpunk, like CD Projekt Red. I mean, now they're talking about, they're teasing a new Witcher saga, and it's like, okay, that's great, that's on Twitter, but like maybe events like this and places where they can be asked more questions by the press and other things. Because once you get rid of that, then they kind of always control the narrative in a sense. Versus these big auditoriums where fans can walk up and ask questions. Now it's just a tweet. You know what I mean? I mean, how, can CD Projekt Red answer a question in 140 characters? I don't know. But so I think they'll come back because you'll see that they think they don't need it and trust is separating. And then what always happens is it bounces back and brings people back together. I mean, who knows? Maybe it could even be VR interactive E3 5 years from now. Everyone can be there. You know what I mean? Everyone hop in the metaverse and come to E3. I mean, that would honestly be sick. I'd be down. But I mean, I think conventions are coming back, maybe just not the same way. But I've always said E3 was probably going to go. I also think they probably should change the location of them. Why isn't the same place every year? Maybe bring one to Florida, spread the love a little bit.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept because we've like the GameStop convention would always bounce between a couple different places.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like San Antonio, Vegas, and Anaheim. And then they did one in Nashville, and then they've done one in Indianapolis now. They moved some things around. So that's an interesting concept because you've got to have it in places that people, like the companies, want to send their people and people will want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why a lot of it's just West Coast, Best Coast type deal. And the ease of access with how big the airport is there. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but I think you're onto something with moving it.
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah, well, but I mean, South by Southwest already exists there. So do you want to bring another event there?
Well, you can pull it off because Apple built their headquarters there. Amazon has a big place there. It's like everybody's moving stuff to Austin, so they might be able to pull it off.
The cost of living there is really high.
Man, just Airbnbs is off the chain.
Yeah, I mean everything's really expensive there. I've seen quite a few people that are just like it's like twice as much to live there as it is like to live here. So,
speaking of more people losing trust, I mean, even the current Halos, I would consider a flop. I know some people aren't going to like that, but
no, I mean, I think it's obviously not drawing as many people as they expected it to. If they're like, "Hey, we're going to make the move to put it on PlayStation." Like, if you take that franchise, like Halo is synonymous with Xbox, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's interesting because as of like, if they do that, that'll be an interesting, set. But I mean, there's still things like saying that Microsoft still has no plans to release it on the PlayStation. That are out there. Yeah.
I thought I thought it was confirmed. That's going on.
It looks like they're saying no go. Like I thought that it was confirmed as well, but it looks like they're still like it's still not 100% sure that that's going to happen. But I think if it stays low, like it may. But it's still considered an exclusive at this point. But I think if they make that move, it'll be interesting. I know I've seen a lot of people talking about it, but if they wound up making that move, you know for sure that it would have been 100% considered a flop.
Right.
I wonder what their current player base is.
No idea. I mean, I also feel like the new Saints Row coming out in, I think, August.
Trash.
August 23. Yeah, it's going to be another flop.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, but speaking of that, I was going to ask you, Ryan. So, we were talking about a new boxing game.
Mhm.
So, Esports Boxing Club is supposed to come out on a new generation consoles in 2022. I looked at some of the graphics. It might be in the video quality of the person who posted it, but it looks kind of cheesy. But
I mean, it says they've got 100 licensed boxers in that roster, right?
Yeah.
And then I think, if I remember correctly, I saw something like 6 or 7 titles. It may be just like, I looked at it at some point and was just like, okay, let's see what happens. But I didn't see like a big name that caught my attention as far as like the development of the game. Do you know who's developing that game?
Let me double check it. Hey, they had your boy from the World's Strongest Men competition in there. I forgot what his name is, but I always watch their episodes.
It's not Magnus Ver Magnuson. He's not in it.
The
He's definitely not.
the one that has the mohawk. Steel City Interactive is the developer.
Steel City, interesting. I mean, with 100 boxers in it, that's a big list. I'm sure Tyson's not in there, right?
I'm looking at the list now.
Tyson Fury is, but Mike Tyson is not.
They got Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Jack LaMotta, Riddick Bowe, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Boy Jones Jr., the Klitschko brothers, Julio Chavez. I'm trying to look. Do they have?
Yeah,
Tyson?
there's no.
They got Gotti.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's definitely not in it. What about Holyfield? Is he in it?
Holyfield
is not.
No.
Yeah, I just searched. They have a whole text list on their site, so it's like, I wonder if they had, like, because I was just searching it that way. But I mean, it's interesting. They've got some of the names that they've got are big names. Like Roy Jones Jr. is a big deal. Obviously, Muhammad Ali is a big deal. But like, to not have Tyson, to not have Holyfield. What about Mr. Grill himself, George Foreman?
No, I
He's
don't
not
see
in
Foreman
it either.
Mickey
But like
Warren
I would say 3 of the biggest names in our lifetime
are not on the game.
are not in that game. So, I mean, they've got a hefty license. I would bet Mayweather is probably not in there either.
No, he's not.
Oh yeah, this Floyd Mayweather Sr. is.
Yeah, Pops is.
Yeah, interesting. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I'll be interested to see more stuff as it comes out. But that Steel City Interactive doesn't really stand out to me as somebody that that's somebody I wanna see make that game. I mean, their website literally is just for that game, so they probably have. It looks like they haven't released anything else.
Yeah, if you go to the features and scroll down to retirement system, that's the dude from World's Strongest Men.
Gotcha.
I can't think of his name though.
PlayStation. It's interesting. If you look up what games that Steel City Interactive made, this is the only one. So, I mean, interesting that they're going to try to put a boxing game out there. Hopefully, it's good. Graphically, it doesn't look great, but it's an early build, so it could be super super early enough that they've got some good stuff coming. So my games list for the year got one game shorter. Breath of the Wild 2, or whatever they're going to wind up calling the second Breath of the Wild, got delayed. So,
Shocker.
Yeah. Well, it's like they said the spring of 23, and I'm like, I'd be surprised if it doesn't if it releases before fall of 23. I'm still disappointed because that's a game that I was really looking forward to, but I think we get Breath of the Wild before we get the next GTA. So I'm confident in that.
More slugs. It's okay.
The latest FIFA update was interesting because they added some new uniforms and jerseys and stuff. So if you're a big FIFA fan, check that out. Their DualShockers has the patch notes for the latest update. I'll put that in the chat for everybody. We won't go through them because I know like patch notes can just be boring to go through. But
I was going to ask you too. Did you get the Doom skins for Fortnite?
I heard about those. I don't even know what they look like. I did not get them.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, I did not. I did find it really interesting this week. So you guys know I'm a big WWE fan, and we've talked about that a lot. But WrestleMania was this past weekend, and I kind of expected them to do something really cool game related, because they always seem to. But they kind of blew me away. Corey Graves, the announcer, actually quoted Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time during one of the matches.
That's
like, I was like, wait, that sounds really familiar. I'll put it in the chat so people can check that out. But it kind of caught me off guard. But it was in the Cody Rhodes Seth Rollins match. He made a Zelda reference and quoted
That's
part
cool.
of it. But they didn't give me any locker codes for 2K, so there's that. What else is going on? Anything else you guys have seen that?
Nah, it's been slow.
Yeah.
I seen a rumor about Fight Night, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, I would say with all the boxers that are listed in that other game, that's your boxing game.
As far as like news and stuff, like I don't really think there's like a whole lot. There's just been some new games coming out, and I've just been taking my time and trying to sink my teeth into those. Wish I played a lot more Lego Star Wars yesterday, but it was, poker night with the boys. But
we'll have to talk about it next week because I'm definitely going to be playing it tonight.
we thought it was weird too how it came out at 1. Like you couldn't start downloading it until 1 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought
that had to be a
weird.
server thing.
I guess it was weird.
Yeah. So of games that have come out recently, we got Lego Star Wars and the show is on Game Pass. And then a couple things coming soon of note. I would say the House of Dead remake is going to catch some people's attention for sure. At the end of the month, we get Nintendo Switch Sports, which is like Wii Sports remake, basically. And then next month, Pac-Man Museum Plus comes out.
I know somebody's going to get that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I need to get to the store and get the show. I gotta stay tuned in on my baseball.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays a little bit more. Like I was watching AJ play it earlier, and it has some really cool features. But I'm hoping to get more into it.
I had Ready or Not in my cart, but then the sale went away by the time I bought that, and
Oh, speaking of sales, Tay, did you buy oh crap, I'm drawing a blank. The game with Aloy in it. Mark, help me out.
God of War.
Nope, that's not. It is one of those games, but it's not God of War. Oh my God!
You talking about the fighter?
No,
What
is it? Mark? What'd you say?
It's
Horizon.
Horizon
Zero Dawn is on sale on Steam.
How much
right now? I want to say it was like $24.99. I think. Let me see. It's in my wish list, so I need to go to my wish list and look because I got the email saying, "Hey, one of your games on your wish list is on sale." It's $24.99.
So if I go get the physical copy, I can get it for $18.99
with all of the DLCs.
I don't know. It's the PlayStation Hits.
So completed. It's the complete. Is it the complete edition?
Yes, complete edition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that game looks amazing on PlayStation. I bet it looks even better on PC.
Might have to make a trip down the street, buddy.
Yeah, that game's really good. Yeah. Oh, so other games
50% off on Steam right now.
What is it?
Days Gone. Red Dead Online half off.
I wonder if all the PlayStation ones are on sale. That SnowRunner game was only on sale for like a week. I missed it.
Dang. Yeah, I see it right now. They're recommending it to me on my store, $30. Days Gone, it looks like a good game. Let me look at the reviews. Very positive. 93% of the 21,000 reviews are positive. Dang, maybe I should get this game.
Well, if you're looking for a sale, I know y'all not going to the store, but GameStop got to buy 2 get 1 free right now.
Is it restricted though? I saw the link, but is it like $29.99 and under, or $19.99 and under, or is it? Oh, it's new games.
Yeah.
Very rare that ever happens. There's some Switch games out there on this list though. Neo: The World Ends With You, $29.99. Shin Megami Tensei 3, $20. There's enough Switch games on there if you don't already have these that you could probably hop in and grab them, and it'll let you sort the list by platform. So you get Yoshi's Crafted World, Donkey Kong Country, and something else if you don't already have whatever. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is on sale for $40 already. That game just came out. That could be a bad sign, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes, though, they'll do like a small sale like right after a release or like pretty recent after release just to try to keep it like hype and in the news.
Monster Hunter Stories is on sale for $40. The Monster Hunter series is phenomenal. If you guys haven't played any of those.
I've not.
They're so good. They're so good. Like they're pretty even on Switch. Like I watched somebody playing it on PC the other day and was like, man, should I have bought it on PC instead? But there are lots of days when I don't want to sit at my computer and play too, because I just don't want to sit at the desk anymore because I've been at a desk all day.
Gotta get the standing desk.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Is there anything else we need to cover before we go? I know Tay's got to pick some stuff up, and
I'm definitely and I'm even looking in the PC section. They got a whole lot on sale too. So.
Yeah, awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching this week. We're trying to make sure we stay under time because we went way over last week, which was not a surprise with a special guest on.
Right.
But thanks for watching. If you missed last week's show, it's available on our YouTube page, and you can always check us out on social media. You can follow us at our social media pages. I'm right there at Touched Artist. You got at DJ Tay Boogie, who's got the blurry hand.
Blurry hand. How I got it, folks? There we go.
You find Mark everywhere at Swing Live. It's Swing Live on Twitter. we'll catch you all next time here on the Connection Interruption podcast. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Boy.
Peace.